Vladimir Putin's rule has led Russia down a dangerous path of global isolation and economic decline. In this review, we break down 5 key reasons why his leadership is a fatal mistake for Russia. Stay tuned for a deep dive into the consequences of his reign.
Since coming to power in 2000s, Vladimir Putin has shaped Russia into an authoritarian regime. While he is often celebrated by his supporters for bringing stability and strength to the country, the long-term consequences of his leadership reveal a series of critical mistakes that have severely undermined Russia's prospects. Here are 5 reasons why Putin's reign is not just problematic, but a fatal mistake for Russia. Putin has concentrated power to an unprecedented degree, dismantling democratic institutions and sidelining political opposition. By eliminating checks and balances, he has created a governance structure that is reliant solely on his decisions. This centralization of power has stifled innovation and policy diversity by excluding dissenting voices from the political arena. Without alternative perspectives and constructive criticism, the government has become increasingly ineffective at addressing the complex needs of the country. Additionally, this system has fostered corruption and cronyism, as loyalty to Putin takes precedence over competence and accountability. The overreliance on one individual for governance has made Russia's future dangerously dependent on the health and whims of a single leader, leaving the nation vulnerable to instability and chaos in a post-Putin era. The lack of accountability within this framework has further entrenched inefficiency, with critical issues such as infrastructure development and healthcare reform remaining largely unaddressed. While Putin initially benefited from a booming oil economy in the early 2000s, his economic policies have set Russia on a path of long-term stagnation. His over-reliance on energy exports as the backbone of the economy has left the country vulnerable to global oil price fluctuations. The failure to diversify the economy has stifled growth in other sectors such as technology, education, and innovation, which are critical for modern economic development. As a result, millions of Russians continue to struggle with persistent poverty and inequality, unable to access opportunities for better livelihoods. The situation has been further exacerbated by sanctions imposed in response to Putin's geopolitical aggression, including the annexation of Crimea and the invasion of Ukraine. These sanctions have crippled Russia's economy by limiting access to global markets and technology. Instead of addressing domestic issues and investing in the well-being of its citizens, the Kremlin has prioritized military spending, deepening the economic woes faced by ordinary Russians. Putin's aggressive foreign policy has alienated Russia from much of the international community. Actions such as meddling in foreign elections, annexing Crimea, and launching a full-scale invasion of Ukraine have triggered widespread sanctions that have cut Russia off from global markets and critical technologies. This isolation has not only damaged Russia's economy, but also its standing on the global stage, transforming it from a once respected power to an international outcast. The erosion of diplomatic relationships has left Russia increasingly dependent on pariah states like North Korea and Iran, limiting its options and influence. Furthermore, Putin's policies have fostered stronger alliances among Western nations, effectively creating a united front against Moscow. This growing geopolitical isolation has compounded the economic and social challenges faced by Russia, pushing the country further into a precarious position. Under Putin's rule, freedom of speech, press, and assembly have been severely curtailed. Independent media outlets have been shut down, and journalists who dared to speak out against the regime have faced imprisonment or even assassination. Protests have been violently suppressed, sending a clear message that dissent will not be tolerated. This suppression of civil society has prevented the emergence of a robust public discourse and critical debate, essential components of a healthy democracy. The climate of fear instilled by these policies has left citizens reluctant to challenge the regime or demand accountability, further entrenching Putin's grip on power. Over time, this has eroded trust in institutions, as people increasingly view the state as a tool of repression rather than representation. By silencing dissent, Putin has weakened the social fabric of Russia, creating an apathetic and disillusioned populace unable to actively contribute to the nation's progress. Perhaps the most devastating aspect of Putin's leadership is his pursuit of military aggression. From the brutal wars in Chechnya to the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, his regime has caused massive loss of life and destruction. These conflicts have diverted critical resources away from addressing pressing domestic issues, such as improving education, healthcare, and infrastructure. The invasion of Ukraine has been particularly catastrophic for Russia, leading to unprecedented sanctions, a mass exodus of skilled professionals, and the loss of countless young Russian soldiers. This war has destabilized the region, tarnished Russia's international reputation, and could have far-reaching consequences for decades to come. Putin's militaristic policies have not only failed to achieve their intended objectives, but have also entrenched a legacy of war and instability that continues to haunt the nation. In conclusion, Vladimir Putin's leadership has steered Russia toward authoritarianism, economic stagnation, and international isolation. While he may be celebrated by some for projecting strength, the cost of his policies far outweighs any perceived benefits. Russia's future hinges on whether it can break free from the cycle of autocratic rule and rebuild its institutions to foster democracy, innovation, and global cooperation. Putin's reign serves as a cautionary tale of how power unchecked can undermine a nation's potential. The challenge for Russians and the world is to envision and work toward a post-Putin era that prioritizes progress over oppression, cooperation over conflict, and hope over fear. As the war in Ukraine continues, the devastation extends far beyond the battlefield. Landmines and unexploded ordnance are turning towns, fields, and roads into deadly traps, leaving communities unable to rebuild or even return home safely. At International Action Alliance Ltd, a not-for-profit organization I founded earlier this year, we're committed to changing this. Our Demining and Contamination Assessment Project aims to clear these hidden dangers, restore safety, and help Ukraine recover from the scars of war. Your support can make a tangible difference. By contributing to our demining efforts, you'll help provide the tools, training, and expertise needed to clear landmines effectively and assess exposure to the present contaminants in war-affected regions. This isn't just about saving lives, it's about giving families the chance to reclaim their homes and farmers the opportunity to cultivate their land again. Together, we can ensure that Ukraine's future isn't overshadowed by the remnants of war. Let's stand with Ukraine. Please consider donating to our demining project and being part of the solution. Every contribution brings us closer to a safer, brighter future for Ukraine.